The mockery of Earth. The Grand Council chamber of the interstellar Concordat fell silent as Supreme Chancellor Vexnar rose from his crystalline throne. His translucent skin glowed with bioluminescence that pulsed in rhythm with his elevated heart rate, a clear sign of amusement to those familiar with Arcturian physiology. Behind him, a massive holographic display flickered to life, showing a collection of crude-looking spacecraft. Esteemed representatives of the galactic community, Vexnar's voice boomed through the chamber. I present to you the pride of Earth's defense force, their so-called fleet. Laughter erupted throughout the chamber. Thousands of delegates representing over 300 spacefaring civilizations pointed at the displayed vessels with various appendages, their universal translators struggling to keep up with the cascade of mockery. The Earth ships appeared blocky and utilitarian, metal containers with engines attached rather than the sleek, organic designs favored by most advanced species. Their propulsion systems were visibly outdated, their weaponry consisting of primitive railguns and chemical missiles, rather than the graviton beams and quantum disruptors that had become standard across the galaxy. These primitives believe they deserve a seat at our table, continued Vexnar, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. They think their ships, barely capable of reaching their own moon a century ago, can stand alongside vessels that have conquered the void between stars for millennia. In the farthest corner of the chamber, Commander Erlinga Reis sat perfectly still, her face a mask of practiced neutrality. As Earth's military attaché to the Concordat, she had endured these displays of contempt for 3 years. Every insult was carefully documented and transmitted back to Earth Command. Look at their flagship, sneered Ambassador Kroll of the Zephyrian Empire, pointing to a particularly ungainly vessel. My personal yacht has more firepower than that orbiting scrap heap. The Zephyrians were the greatest military power in the sector, their empire spanning hundreds of worlds across 3 spiral arms. Their sleek warships, with their characteristic crimson energy signatures, had subjugated dozens of species. Earth, a newcomer to interstellar politics, was merely their latest target for intimidation. Elena's communicator vibrated silently against her wrist. A simple message appeared on her neural interface. T-H-U-N-D-E-R-B-O-L-T ready, awaiting your signal. She touched her earring, a small gesture that activated her secure quantum-entangled transmitter, and whispered, "Let them laugh louder." Back on Earth, deep within the hollowed-out asteroid Ceres, General Marcus Jung nodded as Elena's message appeared on his terminal. "They're still underestimating us," he said to the room of officers and engineers. Perfect. The massive chamber housing Project Thunderbolt rumbled as final preparations commenced. For 15 years, humanity had maintained a facade of technological inferiority, while secretly channeling resources into a single revolutionary warship. The vessels mocked by the Concordat were indeed obsolete, intentionally so. They were decoys, designed to draw attention while the real work happened beyond alien sensors. "Status report," John demanded. Colonel Amara Singh, chief engineer of Project Thunderbolt, stepped forward. "Quantum displacement drive is operational at 94% efficiency. Gravitational lensing stealth system is stable. Adaptive armor has completed final integration tests. Hyperdimensional weapons grid is charged and calibrated." She paused, allowing herself a small smile. "She's ready, General." The ship itself was unlike anything humanity had publicly acknowledged building. Rather than the utilitarian boxes that represented Earth's official fleet, Thunderbolt was a marvel of elegant engineering. Its hull, composed of self-healing nanomaterials, absorbed rather than reflected scanner waves. Its propulsion system incorporated alien technology that Earth had discreetly reverse-engineered from salvaged wrecks found in the Kuiper Belt, artifacts from an ancient war that predated humanity's rise. Most importantly, Thunderbolt carried weapons that no one in the Concordat believed humans capable of developing. Gravitational singularity projectors, capable of creating localized black holes. Quantum disruption beams that could unravel the atomic structure of any known material, and defense systems that bent space-time itself around the ship. The Zephyrians have moved their battle fleet to the edge of our system, reported Intelligence Officer Wei Chen. 17 capital ships, 40 cruisers, and over 100 support vessels. They're not bothering to hide their approach. Zhang nodded. They want us to see them coming. Classic intimidation tactic. Back in the Concordat chamber, the mockery continued, but had now evolved into something more ominous. Ambassador Kroll stood before the assembly, his scaled face contorted into what passed for a smile among his species. The Zephyrian Empire has grown tired of Earth's pretensions, he announced. These humans refuse to acknowledge their proper place in the galactic hierarchy. They resist our rightful claims to the resources in their system, hiding behind obsolete treaties and appeals to the Concordat's protection. Murmurs spread throughout the chamber. Everyone knew where this was heading. Therefore, Kroll continued, the Emperor has decreed that Earth must be brought into compliance. Our fleet stands ready to enforce Zephyrian sovereignty over the Sol system. Elena remained motionless, her breathing steady despite the open threat. This was the moment Earth had been preparing for. Chancellor Vexnar raised his hands for quiet. Ambassador Kroll, while the Concordat acknowledges the Zephyrian Empire's concerns, a military action against a recognized independent world would violate our charter. Kroll made a dismissive gesture. The Concordat's charter protects civilizations capable of defending themselves in the galactic community. Earth clearly lacks this capability. Their fleet is a joke. We've all seen the evidence. This is not conquest. It is supervision of a primitive species for their own protection. Elena finally stood. The motion was so unexpected that the chamber fell silent. The Zephyrian Empire has misjudged Earth, she said, her voice calm but carrying throughout the vast space. We request that Ambassador Kroll transmit a message to his fleet. Turn back now. Laughter erupted once more, louder than before. Kroll approached Elena, towering over her. Human, your species' arrogance exceeds even your technological backwardness. What exactly do you think your pitiful fleet will do against the might of Zephyr? Elena met his gaze unflinchingly. We don't make threats, Ambassador, only promises. She touched her earring again and spoke a single word, Thunderbolt. In the void between Mars and Jupiter, space itself seemed to ripple. Where nothing had been detected moments before, a massive warship suddenly appeared. Unlike the boxy, primitive vessels that represented Earth's public fleet, this ship was a sleek, obsidian arrowhead over 2 kilometers in length. Its surface reflected no light, seeming to absorb the very stars behind it. On the Concordat's main display, the image of Earth's known fleet was suddenly replaced by this new vessel as every sensor in the chamber automatically locked onto the massive energy signature that had appeared from nowhere. Gasps replaced laughter. Chancellor Vexnar's bioluminescence flickered in what his species recognized as shock. What is that? Demanded Kroll, his confidence faltering for the first time. Elena smiled. That, Ambassador, is humanity's response to 15 years of being underestimated. We call her Thunderbolt. As the Concordat watched in stunned silence, Thunderbolt accelerated toward the approaching Zephyrian fleet, reaching speeds that the most advanced ships in the galaxy struggled to match. The message was clear. Earth had never been defenseless, merely patient. You see, Elena continued as the chamber remained transfixed by the display. Humans have a long history of being underestimated. We've learned that sometimes the best strategy is to let your adversary believe they have the advantage. Until they don't. The first phase of humanity's grand deception had ended. The real battle was about to begin. The turning point. Admiral Vrax of the Zephyrian Empire stood on the command deck of his flagship, the inevitable conquest, watching the tactical display with growing concern. His fleet, the pride of the Emperor's third expansion force, had entered the Sol system expecting minimal resistance. The intelligence reports had been clear. Earth's vessels were primitive, their weapons archaic, their tactics unsophisticated. Yet now his sensors detected something impossible. A single massive vessel approaching at speeds his analysts claimed were beyond theoretical limits. "What am I looking at?" he demanded, his dorsal scales rising in agitation. His science officer, Trell, frantically analyzed the incoming data. "Unknown configuration, Admiral. The vessel's energy signature exceeds anything in our database. Its hull composition is. The scanners can't penetrate it. Impossible. Route more power to the sensor array." "Sir, we've already maximized output. The target is. It's absorbing our scanning beams." Vrax's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of deep concern among his kind. "A stealth technology. The humans are supposed to be decades away from even basic gravitic shielding." On the bridge of Thunderbolt, Captain Sofia Rodriguez watched the Zephyrian fleet grow larger on her display. 15 years of preparation had led to this moment. Humanity, long dismissed as technological infants by the galactic community, was about to reveal just how deeply they had been underestimated. "All systems operational," reported her XO, Commander Jackson Chen. "Quantum displacement drive functioning at optimal capacity. Gravitational lensing stealth system is maintaining our sensor profile distortion. Weapons grid charged and targeting solutions plotted for all major Zephyrian vessels." Rodriguez nodded. "Open a channel to the Zephyrian flagship." The main screen flickered to life, revealing Admiral Vrax's reptilian face. His expression showed surprise. Clearly, he hadn't expected the humans to possess communications technology sophisticated enough to penetrate his flagship's security protocols. "This is Captain Sofia Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force vessel Thunderbolt," she stated calmly. "Your fleet has entered sovereign Earth space with hostile intent. You will withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Vrax regained his composure quickly. "Human, your single ship, impressive as it may be, cannot stand against the might of a Zephyrian battle fleet. Stand down and accept Imperial protection, or be destroyed." Rodriguez smiled thinly. "Admiral, we've spent 15 years listening to threats from species who believe themselves superior. Today, that changes." She turned to her weapons officer. "Lieutenant Kim, provide the Zephyrians with a demonstration." "Target locked on unoccupied space near their formation," Kim confirmed. "Micropulse ready. Fire." A beam of concentrated energy, nearly invisible to the naked eye, lanced from Thunderbolt toward a point of empty space 5 kilometers from the Zephyrian vanguard. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, space itself seemed to fold inward, creating a singularity no larger than a marble. The gravitational distortion lasted just 3 seconds before collapsing, but the display of power was unmistakable. On the inevitable conquest, alarms blared. "Admiral," Trell shouted, "they've generated a controlled quantum singularity. The gravitational wave alone damaged the shields on our forward destroyers." Vrax's confidence evaporated. "Impossible. No species at Earth's development stage cold." "Sir, they're targeting our ships now," interrupted his tactical officer. "Evasive maneuvers. Launch all fighters. Fire all forward batteries." Vrax ordered, his composure crumbling. The Zephyrian fleet responded with practiced precision, their crimson energy weapons lancing toward Thunderbolt from multiple vectors. But the Earth vessel seemed to bend light around itself, causing many of the shots to miss entirely. Those that did connect were absorbed by the ship's adaptive hull, which redistributed the energy without damage. Meanwhile, in the Concordat chamber, the assembled representatives watched the unfolding battle in stunned silence. The holographic display showed the massive Zephyrian fleet, previously considered unstoppable, struggling against a single Earth vessel. "How is this possible?" whispered Chancellor Vexnar to Elena. "Your species showed no indication of such technology." Elena Wright smiled. "Chancellor, humanity has a saying. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. For 15 years, we let the galaxy believe we were technologically inferior, while we studied every advanced species. We learned from your successes and your failures. We adapted. We improved. And most importantly, we waited for the right moment. On the battlefield, Thunderbolt executed maneuvers that defied conventional physics. Its quantum displacement drive allowed it to appear at different points in space almost instantaneously, confounding Zephyrian targeting systems. When it fired its main weapons, an array of gravitational disruption beams, the results were devastating. Zephyrian ships found their own mass turned against them, their hulls compressed or stretched beyond structural tolerance. "They're hurting us," realized Admiral Vrax as he watched Thunderbolt's attack pattern. "Every move we make is being anticipated." He was right. Aboard Thunderbolt, an advanced quantum AI named ATGNA processed combat data at speeds no organic mind could match, predicting Zephyrian tactics seconds before they executed them. "Athena suggests they'll attempt to surround us with their fighter screen while the capital ships regroup," reported Commander Chen. Captain Rodriguez nodded. "Deploy the microdrones." From Thunderbolt's hull, thousands of devices no larger than insects swarmed outward. Each contained a miniaturized version of the ship's quantum technology. As they intercepted the incoming Zephyrian fighters, they attached themselves to the enemy craft's hulls and induced localized gravitational distortions that crushed critical systems. Within minutes, the fighter screen collapsed. 3 Zephyrian destroyers, attempting to coordinate a concentrated attack, found their weapons systems suddenly inoperable as Thunderbolt's electronic warfare suite overwhelmed their defenses. "Admiral," Trell reported, his voice shaking, "we've lost 40% of our combat capability. The humans are targeting our command and control systems specifically. They know our protocols. They're disrupting our battle network." Vrax stared at the tactical display in disbelief. The pride of the Zephyrian fleet was being systematically dismantled by a single Earth vessel. Worse, the humans weren't destroying his ships. They were disabling them, demonstrating that they could have annihilated the fleet but chose restraint instead. The humiliation was unbearable. "Open a channel to the Earth vessel," he finally ordered, his voice hollow. Captain Rodriguez appeared on his screen, her expression calm and professional. "Are you prepared to withdraw, Admiral?" Vrax's dorsal spines flattened, a sign of submission in his culture. "We will withdraw beyond your system's boundary. This encounter will be reported to the Emperor." "Please do," Rodriguez replied. "And include this message. Earth does not seek conflict, but we will not be subjugated. We have chosen peace until now not from weakness, but from principle. Remember that distinction." As the damaged Zephyrian fleet limped away from Earth space, the Concordat chamber erupted in chaotic discussion. Species that had dismissed humanity as primitive now reassessed their evaluations with alarm. Others saw potential allies in this surprisingly advanced civilization. Chancellor Vexnar approached Elena Reyes, his bioluminescence now pulsing in patterns that indicated respect rather than amusement. "Commander, it seems the Concordat has severely misjudged Earth's capabilities. Perhaps it is time for your species to take a more prominent role in our deliberations." Elena nodded. "Earth would welcome that opportunity, Chancellor. We've always believed that cooperation is preferable to conflict. But make no mistake, our patience should never be confused with weakness." As word of the battle spread throughout the galaxy, humanity's status changed overnight. The species that had been mocked as technological infants had revealed themselves as innovators who had leapfrogged centuries of conventional development. The Zephyrian Empire, humbled and facing internal dissent after their defeat, launched no further provocations against Earth. In the following months, diplomatic missions from dozens of civilizations arrived in the Sol system, seeking alliances, trade agreements, and technological exchanges. Earth, now recognized as a major power, approached these overtures cautiously. The deception that had protected them for 15 years had served its purpose, but humanity had learned valuable lessons about the politics of the wider galaxy. Captain Rodriguez, standing on Thunderbolt's observation deck as the ship patrolled near Jupiter, reflected on those lessons as she gazed at the stars. "They laughed at us," she murmured, "until they couldn't anymore." Commander Chen, standing beside her, nodded. "And now they fear us." Rodriguez shook her head. Fear isn't our goal. Understanding is. They needed to understand that humanity isn't to be dismissed or conquered. She turned to face the vast expanse of space, where thousands of civilizations awaited. Now the real work begins, proving we deserve the place we've claimed among the stars. As Thunderbolt continued its patrol, its revolutionary technology now known throughout the galaxy, humanity prepared for its new role in the cosmic community. They had been underestimated once. They would ensure it never happened again.